Hello, my air signs. Happy birthday, Gemini. I'm going to start with you first. We're looking at the month of June. Let me just fix this screen. All right, we're looking at the month of June, and I'm just going to look at where you've been at, what's coming in for you, what's shifting, what's coming in love, and any advice for you. But let's get the first card here going. What Spirit wants you to know just for the month of June. Hello, everybody that's here. I see you. All right. Happy birthday to you. My new daughter-in-law. I'm going to be a grandma, and she is a Gemini. The sacred is everywhere. Gratitude. All right. So seeing the beauty this month. I mean, it is your birthday, even though June, it does change into a lot of Cancer energy coming in. It's your time to shine, and then boundary stones is coming through for you, the first card, and protecting your energy, protecting who you are, setting your value out there to the world, and not taking or shrinking for anyone, right? And sometimes we are in situations where no matter what, we still have to do our dailies, do our job, do our work, or be with family, but we still can set the boundaries and set things straight with people. So I'm seeing negotiations, I'm seeing contracts, and I'm seeing communication, coming in. So what this tells me is that this is the most prominent energy around you, which means communicating your needs, communicating what you really want, and acting on it, not just saying and then deflecting, and negotiating and not deflecting. Negotiations are when two people are, happy and agree upon something, not you negotiating, but also on some level feeling like you're still not getting exactly what you want. I see contracts. So this could be a good time, good month to sign new contracts, to move, to connect with people, new people. And it's an unspoken contract. It just feels like, we are on the same page. We want the same things. Contracts can even be buying and selling and doing things like that, and negotiating deals. And like I said, negotiating deals when it comes to love too. I mean, we can have healthy negotiations, but that's the key word, healthy. Communication is always big with you. And I feel like, for some reason, the word deflection just keeps coming through for me. And it's like you tend to laugh things off or use humor to soften things or to deflect situations or things that are hard to say or painful situations, lightening things up. But I feel like this month it's challenging you to actually take a look at what you're trying to avoid when it comes to communicating certain things. All right. So this really is about, you speaking up, sending that message, talking to people, remembering who you are, finding that voice and going. So let's take a look at your tarot, and then I will do Aries through Pisces. The person that is on your mind. All right. And then we'll see what might shift for each zodiac sign as well. So Gemini, let's go. Remember, see the beauty in everything. Don't forget to stop and smell the roses, Gemini. It's not avoiding your problems, but your problems are always they're gonna be there. It's not, one will get solved, another one will come in. I see the undercurrent here, the Eight of Cups, and you're being pulled to figure out what you want and who you are. And this is your season. So when it becomes your season, you're looking out at the new year that's coming in, and you can do a little bit of reflecting on the past year and saying, you know, all these things that have gone on for me this year, where am I at right now? How many things are in my life? How many people are in my life? What have I chosen to do with my life this past year? And, you know, do I feel fulfilled? Am I ready to move forward? Am I ready to move on from things that, yeah, I might have a lot of good things or good people around me or good opportunities around me, but I'm not quite sure if they're all feeling satisfying to me anymore. It seems like this energy is pulling you towards reflecting a little bit more on what does your future look like now? What does this, you know, next year look like? You know, travel. Do I want to travel? Do I want to go to new places? Do I want to finally be in a relationship? So finally be in a relationship means I can't fuck around with people that are only part-time in me, or, you know, possible fantasies, right? You know, I'm giving it hard there, right? It's like, you know, getting caught up in the could-haves or the maybes, right? Something has potential. I have expectations of a situation, but is it holding you back? Because this card is pulling you towards really, really digging and figuring out what's really going on with you and what do you really need to feel satisfied right now. Again, the sacred is everywhere, and gratitude. And if some of you are just feeling like, you know you need something or you want something more, and what you have around you is okay, but you're wanting something a little bit more, so I'm getting take a chance and do something different. Maybe this is a time for you in June to really go off a little bit and figure out what your next step is. What is it? What else do you want? What are you holding yourself back from achieving in your life? So the Ace of Wands here, this is what's going on with you right now too. It's like you're in this hidden desire energy, right? Because the Ace of Wands is all about desire. You know, it's like, I really want this. I really want this to happen. I really want to talk to somebody. I really want to do this, this new venture. I want to go to school. I want to change jobs. I really want, I just know there's more out there for me. That's what's coming through for you. I really, you know, you have a lot of these desires, but have you said them out loud? Have you decided to, I just heard this again, like I hear this all the time throughout my life, but it's like you have to sometimes define something, call something out, say something, actually title something, so you can put it into a thought, into form. You know, thoughts are forms, but putting it out there into the universe. So you may have all these things going on internally, but are you speaking them out, and are you, you know, making them a real thing, right? So it looks like you're kind of stuck in this pure potential energy. You know, I have all these things I want to do, but I'm not saying it to anybody. Sometimes it helps just to openly just start to talk about it around people, the things that you really want, things that you really want to do. And then when you do that, you know, other people hear, or in circumstances start to show up for you that are in alignment with what it is you're trying to manifest. So you're being asked to really say it out loud right now, not just sit in this energy of daydreaming. It's like taking that next action. And that's where the Two of Wands comes in. It's like, what is it that you need to do next to get something going in your life? Right. So what is shifting for you? We're looking at in June here. And, you know, this is, again, you keeping, you know, yourself quiet. You're keeping hidden. I just keep getting this hidden energy. It's like I would rather stay quiet in the background and keep things to myself than to actually get out there and venture on my own. You see here that the energy is showing for my Geminis here, like a self-discovery journey, or like not being afraid to go down a new path or step out and do something completely different. If you have been on your own for a while, or keeping things quiet and isolating yourself, you know, this is a time where the light's shining. It's time to make plans for your future. The Star card is usually in here in the little lantern, which is all about the future. Like, find the light. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? What is the one thing that you really have been wishing that you could do? And you only have so much, time in this world. What is one thing that you can go after and just, give it a go, basically? But what's shifting is this need for you to be even more so extroverted. Now, I know you're typically an extroverted sign, but we still keep things within and we stay quiet about a lot of things. So you're being asked to really open up and not stay so quiet, just to keep everybody around you happy, right? And this is also going to new places and traveling and deciding to maybe go somewhere long distance, go somewhere that you've thought about for a long time. And yeah, that's what I got. What's coming in love, though? Let's see. I have the bottom card. What's coming in love is the Strength card. You have a Leo energy and a Virgo energy, all right? And during June, Venus will move into, I believe it's Venus will move into Leo. All right. And so maybe towards the middle to the end of June, it seems like a bond that you've been developing with somebody is strengthening. There isn't somebody who admires you, somebody that feels very attracted to you. And it could be something where you're connecting with somebody more on a personal level, where it doesn't necessarily feel intense at first, right? Because we have the Strength card, which shows an attraction that comes from within and a bond that builds over time. So it could be somebody that you talk to and communicate with, and your presence, and you've had this energy with this person that is developing a relationship that seems to be building from within, strengthening the relationship that may turn into something more long-term later on. So it could be more of a friendship that's happening, more of a knowing that's happening, more of a I feel connected to you. Something about communication with you guys, is strengthening the bond between the two of you. But you'll feel the energy, and I am seeing here communication. The reason why I keep saying that, I see the envelope right here. There is, let's talk, let's initiate. Somebody could initiate with you, but this also feels like, Gemini, it might be you that is being open and actually initiating more conversation to strengthen a bond with somebody, because you have somebody that loves your character, loves your strength, loves your confidence, loves your energy. All right, so building stronger bonds when it comes to love. But if you're not feeling this kind of like something is growing between us, like I feel more confident, more comfortable, more calm around somebody in love, this is where too you're seeing the Eight of Cups. Like, if something is just not fulfilling you enough, you got to ask yourself, what is the real problem here? Am I trying to make something work that is a potential, and I'm hoping that something comes from it? Or is there something really here, and I'm just loving that every time I'm around this person, it seems like our bond gets stronger? So what should you do with this? Look at this. You get the Seven of Cups. Your reading is kind of straight to the point here with the 7 and 8 of Cups. You're being asked to not lay low anymore. All right. You definitely are being asked to move out into the open, right? Not hide yourself anymore. And there's a new, this season of yours is all about an identity shift too, as well. So getting comfortable and trust in this, in your voice right now. And this, maybe some of you are feeling like, I just don't know, anymore what to say or what to do. And because you are going to be going through a lot of these shifts. But I am seeing the 7 of Cups here. And the 7 of Cups is saying, you got to really, this is where no more deflecting, no more fantasizing, no more sitting here making people options or trying to make somebody better or a better fit for you than they really are. All right. None of those things have been working. This is a new year. And when you're setting your your goals to really connect with somebody in love here, that you feel like the relationship is growing naturally and you just feel this really strong connection with somebody, you will know that this is the one and I need to initiate and I need to speak up and not hold back. All right. But the Seven of Cups is telling me, though, that you may be connecting with some people that you just feel like it's okay. And this is where I'm going to look at Aries through Pisces and see who's coming through and what to expect for each zodiac sign. But you are being asked to ultimately, make this choice. Say what you need to say to somebody and then make a decision and decide where you're going to continue, because something is keeping you quiet, though. Something is keeping you kind of hidden here, and you're being asked to get out in the light, get out into the open. Now, going back to negotiations, contracts, and communication, which is all showing up in your reading here, there's no more room for negotiating people in your life. There's no more room here for saying, but maybe in the future they'll change, but maybe this, you should be feeling this deeper connection in June with somebody, especially, I think, through this energy that we're in right now. I feel like it's kind of defining and it's pushing people a little bit closer to the real deal. And this shows authenticity and love. And if some of you, look, I don't know what you're doing in your life, but this is all general. And it's a possibility that a lot of you have people around you that are very authentic. And there is potential for these relationships to form into something more real, right? Without negotiating. And the biggest thing is you're shifting from not being seen, to being heard, to be in the center, to being in control of the relationships in your life and feeling like there's a healthy balance. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Aries through Pisces. Now, these cards are going to kind of give me the energy of, focus on the person that's on your mind. Always, always, there can be a new person with these energies as well, too. There could be an option. You have several options that are showing up and several potentials around you that is showing up. And I do have Virgo and Leo energy around you, so there could be somebody with that sign. Aries through Pisces. The Fool card is at the bottom of the deck, and it's the dreamer in this deck, It's like, there's the dreamer energy, the Seven of Cups. It's like, can keep dreaming, right? We're going to keep dreaming, but are we going to make something happen, right? This can be waiting for that package to show up at your door in hopes that you just open it up one day and there's this, amazing soulmate in that Amazon package, all right? But this is where you can't be afraid to unstuck yourself from somebody or situation that just seems like it's, you just don't know. It doesn't mean you have to give up your desire. The Fool card never says to give up your desire, but holding yourself back if you're not feeling seen, and continue to move forward, trusting that if this is supposed to be for you, it will come around. All right, so Aries, I see the Hierophant. So you may notice that the bond is deepening in June, right? Maybe January, maybe it started in January, all right? But there's something about the connection between you and Aries that you guys seem to be on the same page. Maybe both of you are a little bit hesitant, and, you could have somebody that shows up around you that is the middleman between you and Aries. You may connect with an Aries too at a place that you may go with community. So if you are single, and you're going to certain organizations or community functions or anything like that, or a church, you may connect with somebody mentally, an Aries, right? And it seems like I'm picking that up a lot here too, that you and another person just have a lot in common when it comes to the way you think. So a relationship may start off and form through communication. And you might not even realize yet that there's something more behind the scenes. And so you and Aries, if you're already connected to them, the Hierophant is showing maybe even finally, getting into a relationship if you're in that, or stepping up in your relationship. Now, Taurus, the Three of Wands, all right? So the Three of Wands is showing that you guys are continuing to move and groove, all right? Things are looking very good between you and a Taurus. Taurus has got some good energy with them right now. You may be making plans with them, finally discussing where a relationship is going to go. Finally deciding that we have something more here. You may find that you and Taurus are actually going more places or running into each other. Finding that you're around the same people or connecting in ways that you just didn't expect, right? But it does show a lot of movement and progress happening between you and Taurus. So if you've been in a connection with the Taurus already, this is just saying you guys are continuing to grow. You're continuing, and the spices, it's starting to get a little bit more spicy. You're starting to talk more about future plans. If you're single, this can say while you're out and about, connecting and not staying hidden with just the things you do with your head down, going to work, going home, going to the gym, going home, opening up your eyes, you're seeing that you may run into a Taurus in June. Gemini, you have the Two of Swords, all right? So this is where you're unable to really make a decision. I see the confusion here, even with the Seven of Cups showing up for you and the Two of Air. It's a stalemate, or you're pretending there is no problem in your life, right? The Two of Swords can be deflection again. Why is that? I'm gonna have to sit with that word for a while. Maybe I've been deflecting. That's why it's coming through. This is like you keep going around in circles and, acting like everything is fine with a situation. But the Seven of Cups is saying things might be okay, but something just doesn't feel like you should be feeling this way or working this hard or trying so hard or having to explain to somebody what you need constantly. All right. There is we always need to discuss in relationships. I get that, right? But this is a little bit different. It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. Are you really? Or when you try to tell somebody what you need or what you want, and they do this, maybe they're deflecting, on you. But so there does seem like you have to make a choice, ask the questions, send the messages, make the move, do the thing, say the thing, be direct, and realize that the placements that are happening in June are really working for you. It's making you more magnetic right now. So you're most likely going to receive what it is that you're really looking for. Right? I'm fine, right? I'm always fine. You guys always say it to me, I'm fine, but you guys spend just much time with me unless you just really like me. But Cancer, I'm seeing Queen of Pentacles. Now, before I go on to Cancer, I'm sorry, the Two of Swords here, your Gemini is obviously mirroring you with the twos, right? So that your Gemini, you both could be kind of avoiding an important discussion. All right, so you may be making a decision with another Gemini here. Finally, one of you actually stepping up instead of a stalemate. All right, there could be a truce between you and another Gemini. Now, Cancer, looks like Cancer is going to be making a little bit more time for you. All right, they really are comfortable around you. They give off a good vibe. Maybe things are kind of moving a little bit slow but steady. Looks like you are building your bond with them, and maybe there are some challenges between you and a Cancer, but you will deal with them. It's in a practical way. It seems like they really are starting to understand the connection. Now, this could even be a new Cancer coming into your life, but they're showing up as the Queen of Earth, Queen of Pentacles. So it feels like you're important to them. And this card here says, I want to invest in this. Even if we're moving slow, we're building a foundation here. So you may find yourself dealing with certain challenges that you've had in the past, and this Seven of Cups, and you confront in a situation, you could be negotiating a new contract or a new relationship, new type of relationship with a Cancer. Now, Leo, all right, Leo is showing up as the Four of Water, all right, and this is where, you know, maybe you're feeling like just always kind of stuck or discontent with the situation. You feel like no matter what, you're hanging on with a Leo, but you feel like you could be missing other opportunities, or Spirit's telling you maybe you are missing other opportunities. Maybe this Leo that you're connected to, right, or a Leo coming into your life, maybe there is possibilities, right? But right now they're not showing up enough for you. It's starting to actually confuse you, and you know, you're not feeling seen, and you may be accommodating into a situation, you know, with a Leo that feels like, you know, if I accommodate, if I please this situation, maybe if I chill out, maybe if I wait, maybe if I whatever, but you could be doing this for a while. So you may want to make a decision of whether or not you just want to keep the Leo situation casual while you open up your options to other situations. Sometimes that in itself will wake up your person if they think that you're not putting them on a pedestal anymore, or you're not waiting for them. All right, so that is the kind of energy I'm getting for Leo. It doesn't mean every one of your Leos, and it does not mean that that's what's going to happen. But I do feel like they're just not into it as much as maybe you are. Virgo, Four of Wands, though, different story with the Virgo. It seems like they are very focused on love, home, family, connection, you know, building a foundation, building a life around people that they really want to spend a lot of time with. And so you got a good vibe here with a Virgo. Virgo's looking for the real deal. Now, in June, you may be coming together. You may go to an event together. You may meet this person if it's a new person at an event. But it's very peaceful energy, and you may find yourself developing deeper feelings for one another, but also maybe even some of you considering moving in together, a move. Right. So good energy, happy times, and taking that next step with the Virgo. Libra, you have Strength card with a Libra, so Libra might be the love of your life here. Libra could be the one that's coming in. You have the number 11. This one here, it's going to be a bond that continues to build, and it may be one that starts off intellectually with the Libra. It's like, you know, and for some of you, there could be forgiveness coming in with the Libra. Maybe there's been a lot going on. You know, you guys are trying to figure something out, work through some problems, but it's definitely building the bond, right? It's making us stronger. If it's a new Libra, I do feel like it's a friendship. It feels good within, and you just feel like something's here. So very strong wind for a Libra energy. Very attracted to you, admires you too. Scorpio, King of Swords, right? Speaking their truth with you. So lots of communication with the Scorpio. For some of you, you know, if you're going through a crisis or something with a Scorpio, you may need to, you know, counseling, advice, anything like that, finding a way that you guys can communicate, maybe with a middleman. But the truth comes with the King of Air. All right. It's like we've got to figure out and get out of the gray area. It's yes or no when it comes to a Scorpio. But it looks as though you'll get the truth of the situation with a Scorpio. Sagittarius, I see 5 of Cups. So things not turning out the way you hoped with a Sagittarius. It does seem like you give a lot. You know, maybe it's draining you to where you're just not able to feel positive about this situation anymore. You feel like, you know, maybe they don't emotionally invest as much as you do. You constantly feel maybe you're being let down or disappointed, or you're expecting disappointment with a Sagittarius, because often, you know, there's space between the two of you and you just don't feel emotionally seen. So that energy is still showing up for a Sagittarius. That doesn't mean you can't change that energy, but you know, with the reading up here, it does say you gotta negotiate without sacrificing your own needs. All right. Capricorn, I see the 6 of Wands, so victory with you and a Capricorn. You guys may change your status with a Capricorn. You may have a new Capricorn coming into your life that wants your attention. It seems like a well-liked person, and they like you. They like everything about what they see. Maybe you stand out in a crowd. This could be somebody that you're meeting in a public situation or online. But good news is on its way when it comes to a Capricorn. Aquarius, I see the Temperance card. So you guys will be figuring out how to make it work. You have cooperation and compromise here with a Aquarius. You know, it's like things are still unfolding between the two of you, and you'll know when to move, you'll know when to say something, you'll know when to go, and you'll know when to fold, right? But I am seeing a balance come in. If you guys are meant to be together, you guys will figure out whatever the challenge is. But there is an imbalance in the relationship with an Aquarius that does need to be confronted. And going back to the 2 of air, 2 of swords, you know, you can't pretend there's no problem here with some of these signs. Now, Pisces, I'm seeing the Knight of Fire. All right, so things moving pretty fast and spicy with you and a Pisces. All right, you may want to think things through for some of you, because the Knight of Fire can be somebody who is short-lived and it's very intense, right? And sometimes you're left with the 7 of Cups to say, you know, is this something that is going to go the distance? But for some of you, you know, things may move fast, and maybe this is a relationship that will go the distance. But you have to feel self-assured. You have to know. You have to know. All right. I love you guys. All right. That is my Geminis. Happy birthday, Gemini. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I am still super sore. I'm sitting here trying to pull the cards off and I can't. Yeah, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. All right. I have to find the timestamp. All right. All right. So Libra at 32. All right. Good timing. Happy birthday, Carolyn. Yeah, no, you don't feel my pain. Oh my God. The pain is crazy, but it's getting better. It's getting better. I definitely kicked it up a notch this past week, and yes, happy birthday. All right. Libra. All right. All right, Libra. Let's take a look at June. Let's get an energy. You know, so I have the temple, the wisdom within, quiet and external noise. Maybe some of you have been spending a lot of time just reflecting and spending quiet time with yourself, trying to figure things out. You may be dealing with some things that nobody else knows about. You know, you've been kind of keeping to yourself and you know, just toning things down. I'm getting remember why you came, be bold, and legacy. So if some of you have been kind of struggling internally, you know, I mean, nothing I mean, it doesn't have to be major when I say that. I mean, we all have our moments, right? But we just put on a show for other people, you know, because that's what we do. You know, we don't need to walk around and let everybody know that we're feeling something or a certain way, or maybe it's just feeling a little bit lost at times, right? You know, you've accomplished something, or you have something, or you've been in a situation, and just some days it just doesn't feel like you're as content as other days. You know, you start to question, you know, what's next, where are things going, why am I even here? You know, so you have a kind of spiritual energy coming through, a private struggle, you know, and it could be with the people in your life, and you know, what the choices you've made again too. So let's see what's going on with tarot. You know, it's to me, you're being asked to remember who you are and be bold. So we're kind of shifting out of this energy. You know, Four of Swords energy is what this kind of gives me too. And it can also feel unseen as well too. That's been coming through this past week. A lot of, you know, just kind of trying not to shake things up, or just kind of hanging out in the background a little bit, you know, which there's always time for that. But we're getting closer to the summer where, you know, we gotta get out there and have some real fun, joy. All right, so we have the Judgment card here. You know, maybe you are doing a life review. Maybe you are kind of taking a look at some of the choices that you've recently made. And, you know, this energy can be, is this where I want to land? Or, you know, I thought there'd be something more once I got here. Or, you know, what's next? You're really ready for some new direction in your life. So if there's something that's on your mind, something that you've been wanting to do, you could judge yourself and make excuses of why you might not be ready, constantly making excuses. This is happening, I got to do this, or I got to wait for this, or wait for this day to happen. You know, what are you waiting for? You know, the Judgment card is making a huge decision. You know, it's like, I've got to finally, you know, step up and decide which direction I want to go in. I'm seeing be bold. Be bold, you know, stop questioning everything or questioning yourself. I do have the Queen of Pentacles underneath this. So this could be professional energy, right? Something where you want to step up and do something more. You want to make something, be creative. And maybe you're leaving a job. Maybe you're leaving a job behind, but that's hard. You know, maybe you're leaving a relationship behind. Maybe you've been single for quite some time, and now you're deciding, what do you judge? You know, sometimes the Queen of Pentacles and the Judgment can be super hypercritical of oneself, right? You're just analyzing everything and judging and critiquing everything and everyone and every situation around you, that it keeps you to yourself. You start to it's like I'm going to judge everything so I can make sure I'm safe before I make a move. And that's not the energy that's around you right now. It feels like you're never going to be truly 100% safe. You've got to be bold. And if you're feeling called towards something, especially professionally, or if there's something where sharing resources or money, or connecting with people, or somebody, you know, owes you something too. This is where you've got to lay down the boundaries and the rules and hold people accountable. All right. Judgment. Watching your judgments of yourself and others right now. And, you know, if you're judging yourself based on where you're at right now, based on where you thought you would be, that's another silent mood killer. You know, it's like, you know, why are you judging yourself so harshly? So I see the Hierophant right here coming in for you as well. So this energy here is very spiritual for you. Maybe have you been in alignment with what you truly value? Maybe you've been reviewing some of the choices and decisions that you've made. Are you connecting with people that share the same, values as you, want to commit, is there a pressure to commit? Are you a part of things or hanging out with people, or part of community, or a relationship, or connecting with somebody, and you just know that this is somebody, either they are somebody that I really want to be with, and somebody that I can see, somebody who really, really is what I've been looking for. Well, then it's about being bold and connecting with this person, and not judging yourself or underestimating yourself. But also, this card says, have you learned your lesson, and do you continue to connect with people and give them the benefit of the doubt and keep moving forward? And then you're questioning everything constantly when somebody never met they were never on the same page to begin with. So this is about leveling up in relationships, and fairness, and connection, and healthy boundaries, and healthy expectations, right? If you have healthy expectations and people are not meeting them at all, then that's a sure sign that, you're wasting your time with someone or a situation, or you're going to spend your life teaching them or trying to get them to understand you. Now, what is shifting? The Moon card. So I can see that there's an overwhelming energy around you right now. It's like you're being sort of emotional, but we're seeing fears come up here about the future. That's the biggest thing. Maybe some of you putting a lot of pressure on yourself and judging you about your future. Am I ever going to get married? Am I ever going to be in a commitment? Is there anything out there for me? Is there anybody out there? I'm hearing Pink Floyd too. I guess today is a lot of music, right? And it's like, it's hard to see when there's emotions like this. It's hard to see when things are blurry, and we have to trust our inner senses, right? You're not going to have it written out for you. There's not going to be everything's going to be safe and perfect for you before you make the move, right? That's the Moon card. The Moon card says, though, if you check your expectations and they're healthy, and you know what you need and want, and you stay true to your values, then not knowing exactly where a relationship is going to go and not being prepared, you can trust in God. You can trust in yourself. You can trust that things are going to come into alignment. But if you're connecting with people and your higher self is just doubting this and talking you out of everything, this is where the Moon puts you in a freeze. It's where you try to figure everything out before you take that next step. And then you miss the bus. Because you want everything perfect and clear before you finally move. And that's just not going to happen. And people, are going to start to reflect back to you what your biggest fears are. You will start to be seeing people distance themselves from you, but really, is it you distancing yourself from everybody else to be safe? But then, of course, externally, it looks like they're all doing it. Everybody's doing something. Or you can't trust. You feel like you're going to get deceived. You don't know who to trust, what to trust, because you want to see everything with your eyes. And the Moon card is saying you're being taught to trust your other senses and to go with something without always knowing whether or not you're going to be prepared, because you will be, especially if you are connected to the Holy Spirit, your higher self, your values. But if you're trying, I already said it, so I'm not going to keep going down that path. Let's see what is trying to enter into your life with love. Look at this, 6 of Cups. All right. You're seeing that when you try not to read into every little detail and you give somebody a chance, there's a lot of love around you. And June, 6 month, 6 of Cups could be the month of feeling alive and feeling connected with somebody, feeling how much somebody really loves you. But if you have fears like this and you're judging yourself with the Judgment card, or you're judging everybody else because you're afraid that you want to know if you can trust them before you've even built the relationship, right? You're going to see through the lens of fogginess, and you're not going to see how much somebody really cares about you. Somebody else could be going through their own stuff too, and you may take it personal when you have the moon card. You may feel like you've done something wrong, but you have not. There is a beautiful relationship that is trying to form. This could be a friend, a new friend that even builds into something more. You know, somebody obviously has their eye on you. And it could be somebody professional, somebody that you go to a university with or a community with or a church or anything like that. It could be somebody that sees you but might not know how to approach you because of this moon energy. And you may be giving off a judgy look. Look, this is which one was Scorpio? Which one was Libra? One of you up here, Scorpio and Libra, can be the most judgy. You know, that's the judgment card, Scorpio energy, right? But you may be judging and somebody's mirroring back to you the face you're putting on. Somebody's looking at you the way you're looking at them. Somebody's reading into some of the things you're saying and doing because of the intention you have behind the judging that you might be doing. And it might not be harsh. I'm not saying you're around being like, the harshest judge. You're probably more harsh on yourself than you are other people. You know, you just don't want to get hurt. But you are, there's a friend, there's somebody in your circle, your friendship group, there's somebody in your environment, right? This is even your environment, maybe around, it's even mom too, maybe around home, around community, but you have somebody here that really wants to connect with you. They may say something, somebody may reach out to you. This could be somebody new, a new soulmate that comes into your life. Let it in. Let it in and not let every anxiety get in your way, and not trying to figure, this is a present moment. This is my sandbox. The 6 of Cups is when you meet that friend in the sandbox and you don't even care where they're from. You just build all day long and you hang out and make a sandcastle. By the end of the day, the sun's coming down and you realize you have a new best friend and you spent the whole day and you didn't judge each other. That's what this card is. And as adults, we have to find that same energy. But it's hard to find that when you have the moon card and you're trying to figure everything out while you're in the moment, rather than being in the moment and express and getting to know somebody and analyzing their every move. So let's see what you should do with this before I get into Aries through Pisces. Look at this, the 8 of Wands. You are being asked to just go with it. Let the adventure in. This is, intensity. It looks like lighter energy, fast energy, lots of movement, lots of connection with people. This can be lots of movement, going places. This can even be social media, talking to somebody. But this is showing up and letting people see you. Hello, my name is Libra. I don't even care about my problems. I'm going to leave it behind and let everybody see you, right? But we're seeing lots of communication and possibilities for you to connect with new people. Even, this could even be getting closer with somebody that you're already connecting with. But you've got to change your environment. For some of you, I just heard that pretty clear. For some of you, the reason why you're not connecting with the right people is because of the environment you're in. And you're keeping yourself around people that you ultimately maybe can't trust. You're not on the same spiritual path, or you don't have the same morals or values. And you're trying to make it work, and you're constantly going to be second guessing things because every movement they make, you're going to analyze it. All right, so with that being said, let's look at Aries through Pisces and see. You do have Taurus and Pisces showing up for you, for some of you, so they could be strong signs. But let's see, Aries through Pisces, what to expect. This can be somebody that's on your mind already. It can be a new person. It can be a past person. That's up to you. I will kind of call it out, but let's just see what energy is coming in for them. All right, you have the Ace of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So we are seeing love's trying to come in. Somebody either falling in love, somebody wanting to reach out to you, connect with you. And there's a possibility, Libra. This is a strong month for you to invite love into your life. Get something started. It could mark the beginning of things. It could be somebody you haven't even met yet. But it definitely is a good season for that opportunity. Aries. All right, we have the Chariot card for Aries here. So an important moment coming in where maybe you're going somewhere with them or connecting again, overcoming some obstacle. You know, you may be being seen in public with your Aries, right? And people are seeing that you guys are together. So you may not announce it that you're together, but it's obvious that you're together. It feels like a soulmate energy with an Aries. You know, you may find that you're spending more time and things are actually moving forward more peacefully. So a victory for you and Aries. Taurus, I am seeing ego with the Taurus energy. So there's that Hierophant with the Taurus. And, you know, it's being so focused on negative aspects or worry or deception. There's a lot of fear you're carrying when it comes to a Taurus. You know, or, you know, Taurus is just, you know, or it's reversed. But it feels like very karmic here when it comes to Taurus. You know, and it's facing these fears. Now, for some of you, it could be that you just are judging them or judging yourself, and you're not sure if you can let them in. Maybe you don't share the same values. For some of you, it could be that you're just overly worried and you're focusing on negativity or things not working out, and that could be your block when it comes to a Taurus. Maybe you just don't trust them. Whatever it is, I am seeing that whatever it is going to come up. And, you know, it's definitely going to be something that is unavoidable. You know, it's going to cause a lot of grief if we can't overcome this pattern that might be showing up or face whatever truth we need to face when it comes to that. Gemini, I see lots of communication with a Gemini. All right. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be easy, right? Sometimes it can be, you know, changes, you know, it seems like we talk a lot and then all of a sudden it slows down. We talk, we're actually being more honest with each other. We're connecting. Sometimes it can be challenging and sometimes it can be what's necessary, so we move forward. But it looks like you both are making the effort to communicate a lot more and to understand each other a lot more. So I see that with the Gemini, there is possibility for you guys to be honest and deepen your connection, which will actually shift the connection and help it accelerate. Cancer, Six of Swords. Those things are looking better for you in a Cancer. You know, you could be going somewhere with a Cancer. I am seeing a lot of movement, even if it's locally or going to each other's home or going places together, seeming to spend more time with one another. So you guys developing stronger friendship or relationship. The end of a difficult situation with you in Cancer. You're finally able to move on from it. Leo, all right, so I'm seeing them bringing in the truth you'll either figure out the truth of a situation with the Leo. You know, it might not always be easy to face the truth when it comes to a Leo. It doesn't mean that you're not close. It doesn't mean that you guys can't develop a relationship, but I see some sort of aha moment when it comes to a Leo. Seeing the truth of a situation, which means, are we really compatible? Are we really on the same page? Are we always going back and forth? Is this short-lived? Is it time to move on, right? So it's going to be different for each and every one of you, but you will understand the truth of the situation and where things are headed with a Leo. Virgo, I am seeing defending yourself with the Virgo could be an issue that you've been constantly doing. You know, you're always defending your beliefs and your decisions and your position. And, you know, it's saying choose your battles wisely with the Virgo, because it could be a Virgo that's really challenging you to stay true to your healthy expectations of relationships and not backing down. So you may confront some challenges with a Virgo. This could be a way to actually excel your relationship from the 7 to the 8 of Wands. You may finally be like, I am not backing down, and this is the way things are if we're going to move forward. And that could bring you guys closer, or it could be where you finally throw in the towel and say, like, this is just too much work. Libra, you have 10 of Pentacles. All right, so this to me is sort of, well, you and another Libra, you could be talking about a happy home life together, long-term relationship. But this is finding magic in the little things in life that add more value to your life. All right, so that's the Six of Cups energy too. Rather than always worrying about the next thing or what's happening or what's changing or what could be or what if that, right? You're being asked to kind of focus on all the little things that actually bring value to your life. All right, I am seeing financial security, you and another Libra possibly investing with each other. You could be sharing resources with this person. You could be getting into a relationship, but also you could be sharing resources with somebody else too and leveling up. And if you're in a connection, you know, you guys are helping each other out a lot more, even with the little things. So it seems like something's becoming more stable for you if you're connected to somebody already. Scorpio, 10 of Wands, right? So they have a lot going on. There could be a lot of things out of balance with you and a Scorpio, but it's more about stress related health concerns. So you and Scorpio, if you're worried about the moon energy and you're just uncertain about things, to me it feels like it's temporary, right? It's just right now things are out of balance, and it's easy to think that you are doing something or you could do more, but this is not asking you to do more. It's just letting the fire. There's going to be a breakthrough energy with the 10 of fire. It seems like the most difficult part's over. So you're just dealing with a lot of heat, or Scorpio's dealing with a lot of pressure right now that could be interfering with the relationship. Sagittarius, I see a King of Swords speaking their mind finally, telling you what's really going on. If there's been an imbalance in the relationship, you could call in a person, a counselor, somebody else to help get in, you know, to help you make a decision. But you guys are trying to communicate and talk about where things are going in June. Capricorn, Queen of Fire. So they're all about you. They're feeling a strong pull towards you, and the fire's getting started. So you and Capricorn could be entering a relationship. They are really not shy about letting you know that they want you, or that they really feel a strong connection with you. So things could really start to move with the Capricorn. Aquarius, Four of Pentacles. They're very cautious. Aquarius just holds their heart and has like bars around it too. You know, they just don't like to jump in. They don't want to give it all right away. They're gonna take their time. You can keep trying and or getting nervous or wondering. And to me, it feels like, you know, it's more of a decision of letting go of it and letting it unfold, rather than trying to pressure or control the outcome of the situation. They could be really focused on money right now and their foundation or their work. Or to me, it just feels like I don't like to quickly give my heart. I'm very slow to give my heart. So if you're interested, you'll be patient with me, but you have free will. Pisces, the Magician. All right, so you guys are ready. It looks like something really good is happening with you and a Pisces. You know, it's like you both are manifesting each other in. You both are very attracted. I feel like with you and a Pisces, especially with the moon card showing up here too as well, it's almost like trust in how you really feel and not talk yourself out of it. Let the relationship grow naturally, and it feels like it should. It feels like, you know, don't question everything. Don't analyze everything, especially if it's new. It seems like you both are on the same page. All right, Libra. All right, I'm going to have to change the time a little bit on the membership because I take forever. All right, it is Aquarius time. Aquarius at 15. Woohoo! Aquario. Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm not as chatty on these ones. These are kind of like the weekly individuals, and just trying to, people who watch it after always complain. Why you always talk? All right. All right, Aquarius. Let's see the month of June. All right. All right. What have you been keeping secret lately? You've been kind of hiding in the back, holding back, feeling something, feelings running deep, feeling a connection. This card shows me something's coming in up around the bend. All right. So maybe you've been kind of keeping to yourself right now, or holding back and, you know, reflecting again, hanging out at home, doing your thing. Keeping to yourself. There's a lot of private energy here with the secret chamber. It's like maybe you got something brewing that nobody knows. You've been keeping your feelings about somebody contained. All right. This is where, you know, this can only stay in so long, though. It looks like June might be where something is coming in that you've been, maybe people are like, what have you been up to? And Aquarius is like, none of your business, right? You don't need to know, but it's real. It's something potent for you, and you could be calling in a deep connection. I love this card because it says treasure. All right. So maybe you've needed this time to kind of go within, and it is said, and I've said this before too, that sometimes when you're manifesting or you're really making a change in your life, you don't want to tell anybody. You keep everything to yourself, you know, let people talk, right? Let people be like, oh, what are they up to? They got to be doing something. Oh my God, everybody always thinks the worst, right? Oh my God, they're sabotaging, they're doing this, they're going to be, oh my God, I got to call them, you know, and you're over there going, leave me the F alone. I'm doing fine and I'm going to be okay, right? So it looks like staying in your lane is what you've been doing. It seems like other people may be a little bit nervous about it, like they don't hear from you, so I've got to create my own stories, right? And so when you're ready to come out, this is where people are gonna be like, holy shit, there's, you know, Aquarius coming out like a superhero. Let's see what's going on. Oh, that's me. Everybody always does that to me. Why is she so quiet? Scorpios always do that. That's our secrecy. I'm not doing anything but watching too much TV. No, I've been actually doing a lot of shit. Keep you guys all guessing. All right. Let's see your energy. You just been keeping to yourself, and I like it. I like it. All right, Aquarius. So let's see you right now. Look at this, 8 of Cups. Talk about staying in your lane. Aquarius is like, I've seen enough. And just, you know, you're somebody that it's easy to see the bigger picture. It's easy to know there's something more. And if you're not feeling happy or fulfilled, or you just have accomplished what you want to, and you're yearning for something more, I mean, you're not afraid to go. You're not afraid to move forward. So it does look like you and Gemini both got this card. So it looks like you're more than ready, and you've been preparing for this move. It's time for action. It's time for you to collect the prize. You know, this is walking away from situations that you've already fulfilled, or they're not fulfilling you any longer. And they're just okay. You know, I want more now. I want more than okay. And a lot of you too are just leaving an energy of uncertainty. So if some of you have been, I've just been uncertain about my life right now, and I don't feel like discussing it with the world. I don't know what I want, and I don't, you know, I'm just choosing to be by myself right now until I figure out. And I'm waiting. As soon as somebody good, something good comes around, I mean, you're gonna jump right on it. What's underneath that? 8 of Wands. So look how quickly things are going to turn to action. So if you've been kind of preparing for something, it's taken off in June. Lots coming at you. This does indicate travel. Maybe you got a lot of different plans going on. Maybe you got a lot of different things coming at you that you weren't expecting either. You've kind of walked away from things that were taking up some energy, whether it's spending too much time on TV, on social media, doing stuff, talking to somebody that doesn't even give you the time of day, you know, anything like that. As you're walking away from all that, all kinds of shit coming in saying, you know, you've got room for me now. So you, the Temperance card, same energy. I feel like I'm just going to repeat what I'm saying. It's like your life may have gotten out of balance for a while, or you were, you know, kind of hanging out, being chill, and just feel like I can't take on anymore. You know, I'm just doing my daily thing, my daily grind. I'm just kind of taking care of business in my own life where things may have gotten out of balance. I'm trying to put things together. So you have a beautiful energy of healing here for you, even if some of you wouldn't call it that. It feels like sometimes I got to take a left into Love's travel station and fill up and, you know, look around and let everybody on the highway go do their thing. I'm going to stay out of the traffic jam. I'm just going to kind of, you know, refuel and figure out what I want. And you know, so this has been very good and very healing. And it seems like this is where God has wanted you to be. It's like you don't need to do anything right now until the time is right. And that time, I feel, is coming in. So what is shifting? 4 of Wands. Your house of commitments, your house of love, your house of home, all right, your house of joy. This 4 of Wands is all about joy and romance and somebody coming home and partnerships and, you know, the opening up the gates for the right person to come in. So some of you minding your own damn business and staying in your lane, and somebody's going to come crashing in and say hello. You know, so what's happening is you're calling forth the people here that really want something serious with you. Your partnerships could be leveling up, you know, deepening the connection, becoming more potent, seeing that people value you a lot more, and seeing who stays around when you go distant. So that's really important. So if some of you have been kind of, if this resonates with you and you've been kind of pulling away and hanging out, and when you decide to come around and, or you're doing your thing, you're going to know Who's still around you? Who says hi? Who still pops in? Who still says, I see you? Who say, even if there's been a little bit of a rough patch, or even if there's been some, distance, or you just, people are still the ones who really care about you, and the ones who feel at home with you, and even the friends, or even the public eye, or people that you see in the community that are just superficial friends, they will all still be there when you're around. You're the one isolated, and they're not leaving you, but you will know who's real and who is definitely a part of your fam. All right. So this is one of the most significant, I feel like, energies around love, where it's got to be real. If you're going to be a part of my home and I'm going to let you in, this has to feel very potent. So what's coming in, what's new, we're trying to enter in love. Look at, this is all coming together. We're talking about a new chapter. We're talking about mature relationships maturing, success, right? Things finally close in the door. The chapters are closing. The past is the past, right? We got the World card near now, where we're starting to see things come together in June. We're starting to see something you've been manifesting, a treasure there. It's coming together, a relationship. You're feeling a lot more settled in when it comes to love. Could be a huge achievement this month of June. I know I keep saying this month, we're still in May, but I'm reading for June, where you come together with somebody who's meant to be on your path, right? And it all starts with this past month, maybe, where you have been sort of doing your own thing and just chilling out and seeing who really wants to be with you, who really is around you. And that's like, people don't leave far from home. And that's what I'm feeling. It's like you will see in June it all come together for you. This could be a new relationship as well, somebody that comes into your life around the people that are circulating around you. So somebody could be orbiting around you. I will look at Aries through Pisces. Now, what should you do with this energy? And I'm seeing the Four of Cups. So you're going to have to start, waking back up again during this next month, because this is an opening for you, where love's going to show up for you in your daily world, in your work, in your environment, right? In your world. So you've got to be a part of your world. And so whereas you've been called to kind of do your own thing right now, when June comes, it's expressing yourself and paying attention to who's around you every day. And you don't have to put your glasses on and kind of look at everybody and say hi to everybody. But the love that's coming in for you is not that far away. It's around you right now. And it's pretty close to home, is what I'm seeing. But the Four of Cups for you is, it can be, I'm still not comfortable yet. I still want to kind of stay in the darkness. I'm not seeing it. It's not smacking me right in the face. And, and it's like, you got to pick yourself back up and get back out there too. If some of you've been feeling like, I'm kind of happy in my own space. So if you start to feel the desire or the need or the want to do something, or to get out there and talk to people or connect with people, you really have to go without overthinking it. You've got to open up to the love that's trying to come in. You can see that it's trying to circulate around you. Be open to the surprise, and not judging a book by its cover too. And not assuming that every cup that's coming your way is a soulmate. It could be a friend. It could be a new person that's opening the doorway to you meeting the next person. But the love that's trying to come into your life, the actual love, is so close to home. All right. I have Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio energy, and Sag energy. Let's see Aries through Pisces and see who's connecting with you. So with that being said, the cards are going to show me, the story. Let's continue with the same story, but this could be, it doesn't matter if it's new, present, it could be a new person coming into your life. It could be somebody you already know, it could be somebody orbiting around you, that's circulating around you, and just open up to the potentials. All right, so you have a page of air at the bottom of the deck. So it looks like conversation coming your way. It could be social media, online, or just being invited somewhere. So if you get an invitation, go for it. See where it takes you. This could be a new person entering your life too, as well, through a message. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. But there's curiosity and real intention here. Somebody who really wants to get to know you. Aries, I see the Strength card. Very attracted to you and who you are and how you carry yourself. There could be forgiveness coming in. You're being asked to release harsh judgments when it comes to you and an Aries. But whatever is going on here, it feels like the bond is real and you guys are developing this connection that will continue to grow over time. Even if you guys choose to be just friends, it's still, there's a connection here that is unbroken. Taurus, I see King of Pentacles. So Taurus is all about themselves right now. Taurus is like, I'm going to make this work. You may get an offer. It seems like they're going to do everything they can to make themselves look good, make you look good, make an offer that looks good. It may be very irresistible. There's an offer, but there's also an air of confidence with Taurus. So you may be feeling a lot more confident in the direction of a relationship with a Taurus. Now, this could be a new Taurus coming into your life too, a very professional Taurus, somebody here who will put forth the effort, and if they want you, they like you, they're going to show up for you. There's going to be no question. But they don't rush, but it doesn't mean that they don't show up. Gemini, 9 of Pentacles. All right, so spending some quiet time together. You could be spending more time together, investing more time with each other, you and a Gemini. It looks like they have a good energy. Looks like they're single and available for some of you. This could be a new Gemini. But it looks like they really do want to invest in this connection. So I'm getting an awesome energy here with a Gemini for you. Cancer, Queen of Pentacles, right? So they're making more time for you. If you've been dealing with some challenges with the Cancer, it looks like you guys are overcoming them. You're making it happen. You guys are taking the steps necessary to make it work. So whatever the complexities are with you and a Cancer, you guys will build a strategy, build a plan, and work with it and try to overcome any kind of external situations that may be restricting you guys. Leo, 4 of Cups. The Leo showing up, this is where, it can be kind of confusing, because open up to the possibilities, but don't let it affect you emotionally. It sounds like it could be a Leo from your past that just makes promises, but don't always come through. Maybe they check in with you. They like to see if you're still there because they don't want to miss the opportunity. But the problem I'm seeing with Leo is they're not very happy with themselves, and so their situation. So no matter what they do or how they show up, it can seem like they're not happy or they're not interested as much as you are. So it's hard to read this energy. It's just the timing is off, and your Leo is not as emotionally available as you'd like them to be. So be cautious with a Leo. That's not for everybody. Some of you could have an amazing Leo come into your life, but today in my reading, I am picking up on that. Virgo, I got ego with a Virgo. So there could be ego battles, a pattern that you guys have been dealing with. Some of you just are worried too much about the fear. You can't trust them. You have a strong attachment. You want them so bad. You got to take them off the pedestal. All right. I do see, some power struggles here with you and a Virgo. you know, there's always a way through this. Maybe they're just hyper focused on their material world, and that gets in the way of the relationship. Again, if somebody's not showing up for you, it's not going to fit this energy that's coming in for you. That is why these two are showing up with this energy. Like, you will not feel happy. It will not satisfy you if you entertain these energies. Libra, Queen of Swords, a Libra coming in their best energy. All right, so it looks like they're wanting to let go of what's been hanging on, or let's let go of what's not working for us anymore. Let's kind of lighten things up, have some fun, talk things out, talk about the future, maybe making an important decision about where this relationship is going. So you have an energy of, let's talk about reality here. Let's be realistic and let's move forward. So it could even be a new Libra showing up in your life where they're very clear and transparent with you. Scorpio, the star of the show for you. They're all about you. So you could have a Scorpio coming into your life. You guys are making long-term plans together. You guys, no matter where you're at, it seems like you're on the right path. You both desire this, so you're gonna make it work, even if there's challenges or there's a learning period, right? If you both want each other, you both will make it happen one way or another. And it feels like the stars are aligned for you and a Scorpio. Sagittarius, fallen for you. Very friendly energy coming in with a Sag. So this could be a new person, new Sag entering your life, or a relationship with the Sagittarius is starting a new phase. You know, they're being more open with you, more softer, sensitive, friendly with you, you know, being more compassionate. Lots of emotional interaction here with the Sagittarius. Capricorn, I'm seeing the Hermit energy, so you may feel distant. They may need more time. They could be at a distance, and so you may be feeling strange from your Capricorn, or they go quiet, or they're still silent. Aquarius, 8 of Cups. Look at the synchronicity, Aquarius, 8 of Cups. You know, you have this desire to move on. You're wanting something more meaningful in your life. You got to let it in. You want something more meaningful for your life. Don't play in the small leagues. Don't play in the little leagues anymore. You know, it's time to step up and explore and trust that if there's nothing, that's best for you, you know, but I don't believe there's nothing for you. I believe that, you know, you're moving more towards what your desired blueprint or plan is, especially with that Temperance card, you know, so no more messing around with uncertainty. You and another Aquarius may find yourself distancing yourself from each other because you both are wanting to go in a new direction. Moving on. Pisces, I see competing with one another, conflict with the Pisces. It could be very challenging with the Pisces, but it does not mean that this is not something worth fighting for. You'll have to make that decision yourself. It seems like you guys have a lot going on in your lives, and you guys are always challenged with when we see each other, when we get together, or one may be stressed, the other may not, or we take turns. So there could be some challenges coming in with you and a Pisces, but it does not determine the outcome. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you guys in membership. I love you guys. Take care.